Hey, Darkman here, and welcome back to Bleach Chapter 654 review, Dead Man Standing. Which... Yes! I got it right again. I called it. It's going to be exactly 7 chapters. That's how long the Suicide Theater is going to last. I called it. I called that shiz. I was right. I'm the best. Okay, enough gloating. Now we have some serious shiz to talk about, and also this tutorial is just not going to last to the end of the chapter. Okay, so we covered in the previous chapter. I don't know why I was being repeated. So Lily just breaks it apart from the blast that he took, and as he's falling down as the death rain, and he's just falling, and then he just turns into feathers. And then now it's just like barely staying, and she just kind of like collapses, and he catches her, and she says that she's exhausted, and that's probably her way, her body's way of telling her to just take a nap, girl, just take a nap. But the Soul Society is not as lucky, because the moment it passes them as pretty little feathers, it instantly turns back into death rain, killing tons and tons of soul creatures. And then we also see Aiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiii Aiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiihis chair, which, just control. There. Come on, back. Okay. So, I don't understand why I'm upset by this. It's just the fact that so much time was dedicated to getting him out, and being like, oh, he's so much more powerful now than ever, and all that good, and all that bad stuff, because now it's not equaling to anything as of now. Because for the simple fact that they were planning to take him with them. Granted, there really wasn't a way to transport him without carrying around that chair. At the same time, that's kind of what it was setting up towards. That's one of the reasons they got him out, was to help them fight against the Stern Raiders. So why, when they went through the portal, did they not take Aiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiii it's just a logical standpoint that I don't understand why they didn't. Or either that, or this was just the best prank the Soul Society could pull on Aiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiili Bye. Off to the Soul Palace without ya. Later. Alright, so back to the chapter. So yeah, it's probably like the best prank the Soul Society could think to pull on him for doing all that crap. So like all these Shinigami just basically start dying. And Lily's turns into a crane looking thing, and then kind of turns into like a road runner. Just went through 2 transformations, and then he just kind of starts freaking out. Like his, you know how like when people say that you're crazy or you're like loopy. Well, now he really is loopy, because his head is just spinning like a top, just shooting energy blasts everywhere. He basically is going on like I won't forgive you for this, Kiraku. And basically all the Soul Reapers there just basically start getting like holes blasted and all that stuff, and then suddenly the Aiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiii Lily's head just kind of gets like smacked, like boom, into the ground. And like he turns around, and like this has been making like all these blood things have been like making like more Lilies appear. So there's like 4 of him at least by now. And they kind of go on like saying like, you're dead, you're dead. And he says that all your like cawing is making my ears bleed. And says, who are you? Identify yourself. And it's Izuru, but he says it's a dead man. Which, you know, title of the chapter, the dead man. Well, yeah, you know. And so he somehow like, and like with the picture that he first appears in, like he still has that huge hole in him, but he kind of has like wires through him now. That patched himself up, I guess. It's probably Mayori or something. But yeah, I mean, he still has like a gaping hole there, so like he only has like, imagine like if all of this was taken out of me, just like, boop. That's basically what he has. He just has kind of like something like holding him together there. But apparently whatever happened to him, which it actually was my word, I just remembered now, from a thing apparently in like some book or something, Mayori helped him survive. But whatever Mayori did to him must have enhanced him incredibly, because well, now and Shunshui were having trouble with him, Izuru just like teleports past him, just like cutting him apart. He was just like, he definitely appreciated the wake-up call, but look at what you guys did. I mean, at the same, I mean, you can't blame him for being upset by this. I mean, it's kind of like, imagine if your alarm clock was a bunch of explosions, like, just like lying in bed and suddenly your house is gone. And so he turns around and there's like, definitely a lot more going on here, and when he turns around there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 lilies, which I mean, as if one wasn't bad enough, we have to deal with 8 times the amount. And so then it cuts back to, oh shit, no, I have to remember his name. This miracle guy, Gerald Falkery. That's his name. I don't know why I pointed so determinedly at the camera, but that's his name. And he basically just gets knocked into a wall, and it's Renji and Byakuya doing this to him, and he's like, how many people do you think can stand up to a vice captain and a captain? Which, Renji, that's not exactly the best thing to say, considering the fact that, let's think about this. The Espada, at least 3 of them did something similar to that, taking on a lieutenant, the captain, and another captain class level Soul Reaper. Hollywell, who took on 2 captain class Soul Reapers along with the lieutenant class, who can all hollowify. And then there's Stark, who took on 3 captain class Soul Reapers. And then there's Aizen, who took on all the remaining captain class Soul Reapers. And then there's also the more recent enemies like Prandina and Lille, who took on a captain and a vice captain. So, yeah. And so, Gerald's just kind of there, like, there's no way possibly a little crap peon like you could take us down. And so, Gerald just kind of like looks up, it's a big old shizzy grin, like, and he was just like, well then I guess it'd take a miracle for that to happen. I don't know, I can't do the whole, I always have to do something extra for puns. Because, you know, he's a miracle. So he has to say his miracle puns, like Prandina, the nerve puns. But yeah, that's the end of the chapter, and, crap, I have something I wanted to say. So in the next, obviously the fight with Lille isn't over, but it's also pretty apparent that Shunshui has nothing to do with the rest of it. He's probably out for like the rest of the series. Like, he's probably not going to fight anyone else. So in the next coming chapters, it's probably just going to be like Aizen and Izuru tag teaming against a horde of Lilles. Which, I mean, there are a bunch of comparisons to Lille and Aizen. So I mean, I guess that works because they're both basically butterfly gods. And then also along with that, there's going to be the fight against Gerald, because he's probably going to like reveal his like vault standing, and like his vault standing is probably going to be like the most overpowered vault standing around. And he's going to be able to fight them because, I mean, none of them are using their bankais yet, and they're kind of kicking his trash, which didn't really happen with any of the other ones, which, except for well, I mean, it kind of happened, but then they kind of turned it around by revealing stuff about them. Like with Lille, it was his god, well, it was just his vault standing that gave him the edge, along with his super god eye power. And then there was a, right, I think it was like, why did I use my left hand to show for the right? The right hand of the Soul King, which was Prandina. He basically revealed his like evolutionary powers, and that's how he got the upper hand. So I'm not exactly sure what he can do, because I mean, unless his vault standing is just incredibly powerful. He has nothing really left to go for, except maybe he just has a really good ability, I guess. The Miracle, I mean, maybe he'll just get a bunch of critical hits. I don't know, Pokemon Net, man. Destiny Bond, I don't know. But yeah, that's the end of the chapter. See you guys.